You are Locked On Bulls Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Chicago on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Locked On Bulls Postcast here on the Locked On Sports Chicago YouTube channel. The Bulls win 129-119 over the Denver Nuggets, finish their West Coast road trip, 6 games, 4-2 on the road trip, and move to above 500 on the road this season. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first order. A bunch of stuff we're going to get to on today's show. Coby White, he is on a heater. He is on fire right now for the Chicago Bulls. I mean, he is just playing out of his mind. Josh Giddey has a near triple-double after a near quadruple-double. Another great performance from him tonight as well. Look, there was a lot of positives that came from this game. It's not just the output. We're going to say something too. Don't let the haters fool you about this game. We're going to get to it. They're all going to tell you about Jokic not playing. I'm going to tell you tonight that that's not the case. Okay, it shouldn't matter that Jokic didn't play in this game. I'll tell you why as well during the show, and some shortcomings in this game that the Bulls overcame in a really big way, and some guys that stepped up like Dalen Terry as well. What's up, Samity, here in the chat, finally catching the live show. Look, we're here late on these West Coast trips. Doing well myself. Hope you are good, my friend, and everyone listening on audio and on YouTube. So this game, Coby White, man, 37 points. He's unbelievable right now. He is on just an absolute heater for his career. Maybe the best, no, that's not a maybe. This has got to be the best stretch of basketball he's ever played, probably at any level, honestly, whether it's high school in North Carolina. What he's doing right now, 13 straight games with 20-plus points, drops 37 against the Nuggets tonight. He goes 5 for 10 from the three-point line, 11 to 22 overall, plus 16 on the court. And look, this is what we didn't talk about it after the last game just because there was so much excitement about Josh Giddey nearly getting a quadruple-double. But the one thing we're seeing from Coby White that I think is so important, and it was pointed out on the broadcast tonight, and part of the reason why his point total is raising so high is not only is he attacking the basket, he's also starting to get a lot of calls that earlier this season it felt like he wasn't getting. And with the frequency of him attacking the paint, you would think that would increase, and it has. 11 free throws tonight. He makes 10 of them. That's huge for him in terms of just counting stats. But more importantly, they're mattering, and he's making them. And he's just been so consistent night in and night out during this 13-game stretch, specifically this 6-game road trip. And yes, consistent from the three-point line, not always on this stretch, but that's starting to come around, and that's really why it feels like the point total has exploded recently for him. He's just playing phenomenal basketball. And it's just been fun to watch. And again, the idea of him, Giddey, and Modest, it grows on me every day, just a little bit. Like, it's not fully bought in yet, but I see the vision again of what Giddey, Coby, and Modest could potentially be. Josh Giddey was also phenomenal in this game. Nearly has a quadruple-double in his last game. Tonight, 26 points, 9 assists, 8 rebounds. 1 block. He did have 3 turnovers. That's fine. Like, it's not the end of the world when you win the basketball game. But he, too, just like Coby White, attacking the paint constantly. 10 free throws himself. Those two guys, when they started doing this is what we were saying all year long. If you're listening to these shows, it's been with us since day one. We started doing these postcasts. Was they're taking too many threes, attack. They're better at that. Even when Zach LaVine was on the team, they should have been better at it than they were. And these two guys are really proving that as well, that they are just attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line. They're playing with great pace. Two teams that like to run. You know, look, this was a lot of everything boxes you checked versus the Lakers. You checked again in this game. That's important to me because that's not something that we've seen in the Billy Donovan era a lot. This road trip could have been 5-1. You could have beat the Houston Rockets. You go 4-2. And I feel like a lot of times during the Billy Donovan era, whether it was with LaVine or without LaVine now, when it felt like something good was happening, it felt like it was never sustainable for more than 2 games. So seeing these performances from Josh Giddey and Coby White, that's why, to me, it is a positive overall for the direction the Bulls are heading. And yes, like we'll see where they go. It doesn't mean they're going to win a playoff series or anything like that, but it finally at least feels like the direction is pointed towards good versus just downright terrible. And look, this might all change in a week. Like I might be looking back in 2 weeks and saying, Joe, you're an idiot. Some of you might be saying that right now. I understand it if you are. But they're just playing really good basketball. Now let's get to, before we go through some of the actual game stuff that happened, don't let the people who are hating on the Bulls right now fool you about this game, okay? I know Nikola Vucevic is not out there. That is arguably the best player in the NBA. Do not let them take away from this victory against a good basketball team. Couple reasons why. Number one, you're missing 3 players. You're missing Ayo, you're missing Lonzo, you're missing guys that are important to your roster. Number 2, covering the Houston Rockets like I do for my full-time daytime job when I'm not being a hardcore Bulls fan, because that's what I truly am. Rockets fans are pissed they lost to this Denver Nuggets team last night. They're upset that they lost to a team with Nikola Vucevic. So the Denver Nuggets last night beat the Houston Rockets, who you lost to on this road trip, and really handled them throughout most of that game. And then you respond in this one with the victory to end your road trip 4-2. That's why don't let the haters fool you for me. This game, yes, it'd be nice if Jokic was out there to get the victory. It's still the Denver Nuggets, and they still just beat a team last night. Yes, this is a back-to-back for them. Whatever. That they beat the Rockets without Jokic. So that's why this game does matter to me. That even without Jokic out there, that you've now beaten the Lakers and Nuggets in back-to-back games. You've beaten the Sacramento Kings, who are a play-in team just like you, not like a massive victory in the belt or anything like that, but you get the victory versus them and you battle with the Rockets yourself. This has been a really good stretch of basketball against some quality opponents, and I think that was the one knock on the Bulls as they have kind of risen up the standings here and gone from, are they going to be the 10 or 11 seed to could they be the 8 seed, as they weren't playing a lot of good teams. And, it's interesting too, I hear a lot of people talk about the end of the season for the NBA and that it doesn't matter. It does matter. The Nuggets are fighting for the 2 seed in the Western Conference. They desperately want that. They don't want to be facing, they don't want to be this. They don't want to be the 3 seed right now. They want the 2 seed. They want to have as much home court advantage as they possibly can throughout the playoffs because they want to play in that Denver altitude and just help them as much as possible. So don't let the haters fool you. Coby White, absolutely incredible in this game. Let's go through some of this game in more detail here before we go to our first break. Obviously, Bulls are down 35-27 at the end of the first quarter. Really kind of a struggle fest early on for Josh Giddey, I would say, defensively against Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray was great for most of this game tonight for the Denver Nuggets, but Giddey was struggling with him early on, and Denver was really just kind of doing whatever they wanted to do in the first quarter. It was a positive that immediately to start this game, we saw Modest hit a three-pointer for me as well. I know he only ended up with 10 points on the night and was 3 for 7 shooting. But seeing that first one go in just kind of felt, okay, that feels positive after dropping a career high in points. Not a lot of shots for him, only 7, like I said, in this game. The second quarter, the Bulls flipped the script. They outscored the Nuggets 38-30. And this is really when Coby White started to go off in this game. And that's really what, to me, felt like, okay, the Bulls are back in this game. Let's see what happens here in the second half. Modest Buzelis comes out, hits his second 3 of the game to start the third quarter. It's 68-65. This, to me, is one of I think, the best plays of the night. There's a missed dunk by the Denver Nuggets, and they get a huge outlet pass to Kevin Huerter. One of the things the Bulls did really well in this game, and have done recently, they find Kevin Huerter on the outlets at 75-69, and then Josh Giddey, he hit his third 3, and he's got 20 points in the third quarter, 10 points in the third quarter, 20 points overall when it's 85-82. And then in the fourth quarter, the Bulls just kept it rolling. Coby White, again, really took over. And while we're talking about Coby White in the fourth quarter, let's get to our turning point of tonight's game.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
So this is where I feel like the Bulls won this basketball game. Coby White hits a 3 for the Bulls. That gives them 33 on the night, puts the Bulls down 99-98. Immediately follows that up with, on the next offensive possession, attacking the rim, blowing by his defender, gets the layup, and it's 100-99. The Bulls would go on a 9-0 run to put the Bulls up 104-99. 7 of those 9 points came from Coby White. So I think that 2-possession stretch there is really where the Bulls solidified that they were going to win this basketball game. One more thing before we go to break. Let's get to our Locked On Player of the Game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
It's Coby White, locked on player of the game. Again, not even a question. Coby White, locked on player of the game. Josh Giddey, a close second. Again, Coby White, 37 points. Josh Giddey, 26 points, 9 assists, and 8 rebounds. So phenomenal night from Coby White and Josh Giddey. Let's get into some of the things that happened in this game, though, that also impressed me. Some shortcomings and guys that were able to help out when they needed it the most. We'll get into that next year on the Locked On Bulls postcast on the Locked On Sports Chicago YouTube channel. Ever check your bank account and wonder where did all my money go? Between dining out, online shopping, and entertainment, it's easy to lose track. That's where Monarch Money comes in. Your personal CFO giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it's a complete financial command center. You can track all your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, just so you stop just managing your money and start building your wealth. When you use Monarch Money, you can see how much you're spending eating out, whether you're ordering food or going somewhere. You can track all of that on Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONNBA at monarchmoney.com for 50% off your first year. That's monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONNBA for half off your first year. All right, couple guys that struggled in this game and kind of the fallout that happened from it. Patrick Williams, we'll start from him. 0 for 5 from the three-point line. He couldn't buy an open corner three in this game. He also had a possession that was nearly a disaster where he's out on the break. He totally misses Julian Phillips. He finds Dalen Terry, who's trailing him, which is an interesting decision in itself. Dalen Terry blows the layup, but Patrick Williams did get the follow through slam. So Patrick Williams 0 for 5 from the three-point line. And then you got Kevin Huerter, 1 for 7 from the three-point line tonight. He hit number 999 of his career. I don't know if he was, trying his hardest to get to 1,000 threes in his career, but both those guys, not a great performance when those two guys go 1 for 12 from the three-point line. So how do you make up for it? Well, this road trip has been phenomenal for Dalen Terry. He has kind of been the forgotten story of what has happened in these last 6 games. He's hit, I think it's 10 threes. It's at least 9 on this road trip. So he's been hitting it from outside. He played great defense in this game at the end when you needed it. He's just kind of everywhere for the Bulls right now. And this is a guy that he's been in the doghouse a lot, it feels like, at various different times for Billy Donovan this year, where we would see Julian Phillips or early on Modest Buzelis before he became a starter really were overtaking the minutes that Dalen Terry got. So to get this performance that you've had from him on the road trip, that's how you make up for me for a game like this where you got Kevin Huerter and Patrick Williams both being terrible. And you might say, like, Joe, he's only got 14 points. Well, you're right. He's 4 for 4 from the three-point line in this game. So we're just seeing Terry shoot the ball a lot better on this road trip. He's playing good defense. And again, I've talked about him before. I'm way more confident in what I think of Modest Buzelis' future than I am Dalen Terry's future. It feels like Dalen Terry's so much more of a wild card of what he could be, or if he's just the 9th guy off the bench of a good team eventually, and playing barely even in the playoffs, because obviously it's usually an 8-9-man rotation in the playoffs. I don't know for him, but this was a very positive road trip for Dalen Terry. So kudos to him. The Bulls needed that tonight. Really to separate themselves from the Nuggets in the second quarter and in the fourth quarter, in the second and fourth quarter, because they didn't outscore the Nuggets in the third quarter. It was 30-30. That game was 65-65 coming out of halftime. It was 95-95 coming out of the third quarter. Was pretty convinced at the end of that we were headed to overtime. Kind of glad that did not happen in this game. Jalen Smith also, who's been pretty quiet recently. Haven't seen a ton of him. He's not played a ton of minutes. We see him play 15 minutes tonight. He goes 6 of 8 from the field for 14 points, 10 rebounds, so he gets a double-double. Another one, with Patrick Williams struggling in this game offensively, you need someone, a big man, to step up, and Sticks did that for the Bulls tonight. I mean, he really hasn't played much at all. He's been a lot of DNP since Zach Collins was filling in for both him and Nikola Vucevic, and tonight Zach Collins obviously doesn't play a ton of minutes, and Jalen Smith comes in, fills that role, had some good effort plays, overall was just very positive from this game as well. So a lot of good stuff from the Bulls. And really outside of the first quarter, where the Bulls were just kind of playing out of control, and at the very end there, when it looked like they were going to give this thing away, I mean, this game is what? It's 125 to 119. Denver has gone an 8-2 run to get it within 6. Thinking, okay, this is the Bulls. This is, even without Jokic, this is a championship team, or a lot of guys have won a title, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray, that are out there for them. The Bulls are going to blow this game. That shot from Vooch was, first of all, beautiful. The turnaround lefty fade was very nice there, but you needed it. And that's where Vooch, even though I want more Zach Collins typically with this team because I like the way that they run with Vooch not on the court, that's part of the reason why you, as this Bulls team is constructed, apparently, trying to make the playoffs and win playoff games, because that seems like what their goal is, you need someone like Vooch who can score in the post and get you clutch baskets, because Coby White's not going to be able to hit everything. He does keep taking these hilarious heat checks that are way beyond the three-point line. You can tell he is just feeling it himself on another level, but massive bucket there from Nikola Vucevic in this game to really seal it for the Bulls there at the end. All right, before we wrap up, let's get to what you'll be talking about after this game.
This is what you'll be talking about.
I think this is going to go one of two ways. What we talked about earlier, people are going to, Jokic didn't play, or there's going to be people that have been watching this team night in and night out and be very pleasantly surprised with the way the Bulls played on this 6-game road trip. I think that's what we'll be talking about the most. 4-2 on the road trip. This stat is still, to me, very odd. I said at the very beginning of the show, they're now 19-18, above 500 on the road this season. They just got to play better at the United Center. As you heard there, if you're watching the television broadcast, Bulls fans, man, they're the best. They're the best fans. It's even when this team is frustrating and the front office doesn't do what you want them to do by trading guys, the United Center is packed, the United Center is loud, and you heard at the end of the broadcast today, the Bulls fans that are in attendance are loudly chanting for Coby White as this game wraps up. I like it was a Coby White chant, not an MVP chant also. That makes me feel like there was intelligent basketball fans, Bulls fans in the attendance tonight. But yeah, I mean, it's just they've battled through, this stretch, and we'll see where it goes. I mean, the Bulls are very firmly at this point in the play-in tournament. They are not going to miss the playoffs. And again, the question just becomes how far back or how high can they grow at this point? They're 2 games back of the Orlando Magic still, and they are 3.5 games back of the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta Falcons. It's late. The Atlanta Hawks. That's the wrong sport, Joe. Obviously, this next game that's going to be very interesting is this Lakers game. Just playing them again in their next game on Thursday back in Chicago. That, to me, is going to be a fascinating basketball game to see what the Lakers learned from that last game and how they play versus the Bulls. And if the Bulls can go with the same strategy against the Lakers, they're not going to score 146 points and shoot 50% or whatever they did. But that, to me, I do feel like is going to be a good test to see really the direction of where the Bulls are headed the rest of the season. Because the Lakers are a team, just like the Nuggets, that are battling for playoff position, are going to want some revenge for having to check their starters out with half the fourth quarter left. That, to me, is going to be a fascinating game. So we will be here live on YouTube after the Bulls-Lakers game. Also, just a reminder, if you are a Chicago Cubs fan, we'll be doing postcast shows for the Cubs as well. Those will be hosted on the Locked On Cubs YouTube channel. So, Thursday night, Bulls postcast here. Cubs game doesn't start till 9:10, so we'll be double dipping on Thursday night. So make sure if you're a Cubs fan, head over to Locked On Cubs, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you find Locked On Bulls on YouTube and both of those, Apple, Spotify, wherever you can get your podcast. Thank you for watching. We will talk to you on Thursday night after the Bulls play the Lakers, LeBron and Luka. Peace.